Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So, what brought you in here today?
I'm having an issue with my boss.
Oh no, what's going on?
Well, she was promoted
Mm-hmm.
to a higher position a few weeks ago, a few months ago now.
Okay.
And since then, she has kind of let it go to her head. And, I've worked with her for almost 2 years now. I know what normal behavior from her is, and I know what her new self-inflated behavior is. And it's just not okay with me.
So it sounds like most of the problems really started once she got this promotion.
Yes. So what happens is that she, now that she has new responsibilities, she's shirking her old responsibilities, and my coworker and I have to go ahead and pretty much pick up the slack for her. And you know, honestly, it's not in my job description to do half the stuff that she wants me to do. It's also not in my knowledge. It's not stuff that I've been taught. And then when something goes wrong, she passes the buck. Throws us under the bus instead of taking responsibility like a manager should do.
Can you explain to me what it looks like when she chucks you under the bus?
Well, when our regional manager comes in to do his weekly checkup on the property, if there's paperwork that's misdone or there is a computing error,
Mm-hmm.
instead of taking responsibility and being like, I didn't teach him that, she'll look at me and say, well, why is this wrong? Right in front of him. Throw me under the bus to the regional manager.
Right. I can understand how that would be
Yeah,
frustrating. Have you tried talking to her at all?
I have, and it doesn't really go well
Mm-hmm.
because she's got a short fuse. I've got a short fuse. It just ends up devolving into, you know, chaos.
Right. Is there a way that you think that you could approach her that might make it so she doesn't have the short fuse and you don't have the short fuse?
Well, I mean, I do try to come at her in a pleasant and jovial manner, but it doesn't seem to work when I'm trying to give her, honest feedback on how I think she's doing or
Mm-hmm.
how I feel like I'm being treated. It usually just ends up with her getting defensive and getting, I wouldn't say loud, but her demeanor changes.
Right.
And it's never been an issue before until she got the promotion.
So it sounds like one of the biggest complaints that you have is that she tends to put you down in front of your boss, and you don't like that because you want to make sure that you're doing a good job for your boss.
Yes, but it's not so much that she puts me down, it's that she doesn't take responsibility for something that she does. She just kind of passes it on. As they say, crap rolls downhill.
Hmm.
That's kind of the way she's been treating us lately, and it's just not right.
Do you think that your boss is aware that she's been passing the buck, as you said, off onto you guys?
I'm not sure, but I mean, how could you not when you obviously didn't teach somebody how to do something, or you know, they have told you, hey, I don't know how to do that, but you still have them do it anyway without really giving them direction. Yeah, I mean, I would think that you would understand that you're passing the buck when you're telling the regional manager, oh, well, I told them to do it and it didn't get done correctly.
So it sounds like part of the problem too is that you aren't sure how to do all of the aspects of her job and she's expecting you to do that. Do you think that it would be possible for you to talk to her and say, "Hey Leah, last time you asked me to do this, I wasn't aware how to do this. Can you please show me how to do this?"
And I've done that several times for things that I don't know. I always ask questions, but
Does she seem to be responsive when you do that?
yeah, yeah, if I ask a question about something that I don't understand, she will explain it, but she also expects me to retain it the first time. And that's just not how people are wired, or at least not how I'm wired. I
Hmm.
need to do something in repetition to be able to, learn how to do it. It's not just, her not explaining things. It's the fact that if I don't know how to do it, a manager's job is to take responsibility for lack of a better word, underlings, her
Right.
employees. Uh, but the same boss will not, if I have to cover for her for sick time or whatever, she's not the same with us. She won't cover shifts if she doesn't have to. And, it's just, she just shirks a lot of responsibility now. And it's aggravating.
I can see how that would be frustrating. Do you think that it's possible that, because again, a lot of your frustration lies with the fact that she asks you to do a job that she doesn't want to do, but then gets upset that you don't know how to do it? Do you think it'd be possible if you said to her, hey, can you show me how to do it and then watch me do it? Because a lot of times that helps with retaining the knowledge on how to do a certain activity.
That's definitely something I could consider doing.
Hmm.
Um, but when I have asked her for help with things in the past, it seems like a burden to her.
Hmm.
It seems like she's too busy with other things to help me out. And when I bring up the fact that I need to know how to do this so that she doesn't look bad because it is technically something she's supposed to be doing, she does take that defensively,
Right.
you know, and she goes on the defensive.
Right. And I can see how that would be frustrating for you because you are just asking for help.
Mhm.
Is there another employee that you could talk to about certain activities? Maybe if she's already shown you an activity, you can ask the other employee for assistance as well.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing is that the other employee, because we're a very small crew, uh, could actually probably run the facility a lot better than the boss could.
Right.
She's been with the company for a lot longer,
Hmm.
and she knows every aspect. And when she's around, I ask her, and she's a plethora of knowledge. Um, she actually exudes more what leadership should be, as opposed to being a boss. You know what I mean?
I do. I completely understand what you mean. Sometimes that happens where the person who deserves the job doesn't get the job, and it can be really frustrating, especially for the person who really does deserve the job.
Yeah, and that I don't hold any resentment to my boss for that. That's not anything that I was even around for at the time.
Hmm.
It's just that the other coworker is definitely a lot more helpful.
Hmm.
She's more willing to explain to me what needs to be done as opposed to telling me what needs to be done.
Hmm.
Because I've not really worked in an office setting before. This is something new to me. And I don't get everything the first time. So I do have questions all the time, and it seems like my boss is just too busy to help out. Even like I said, when it's something she's technically supposed to be doing.
Right.
So you would think that if it's a report that she's got to end up signing her name on, that she did it, that she would want it to be correct. So
So it sounds like ultimately you really just don't like the way that she's been treating you since she got this promotion. You don't like that she tends to pass the buck off on you, and then if something's wrong, she chucks you under the bus to her boss and
yeah,
ultimately your boss as well.
yes.
Is there anything that you think that you could do to help stop that from happening? Maybe a way that you could talk to Leah about the things that have been going on um, in the office, maybe tell her, hey, you know what, I really want to understand these things, but I'm going to need more than once. I've never worked in an office. Like you told me, I've never worked in an office before. So I might need it once or twice in addition to the initial time that you've talked to me and told me how to do this.
Yeah, it's something I can consider doing. Sitting down, having a discussion with her. Um, but like I said, anytime I have a discussion with her, I mean, and it's not even criticism. It's just me asking if doing something else a certain way would be more beneficial to the situation. She does go on the defensive. Like she's just a very defensive person when it comes to, I don't know, suggestions
Right.
or even really asking questions.
Well, maybe she's feeling that same way that you were saying that Alex deserves a job more than Leah does. Maybe she feels that way as well, and so she's overcompensating for that.
Well, it definitely could be. I know that she's always on edge when our regional manager happens to be around.
Hmm.
Because our regional manager, when my other coworker happens to be around, does tend to, I wouldn't say favor her, more like he shows her a little more respect than he shows my boss. So
Hmm.
it just, I don't know. I think she does feel under, undercompensating, or she is overcompensating for her, her, words.
For her lack of knowledge that
Yeah.
Alex obviously has more of.
Hmm.
And so maybe she is trying to project onto you guys the fact that she doesn't have as much knowledge and she doesn't feel comfortable asking for help from her regional manager as well.
Hmm.
Well, I think that what we should do is maybe you should talk to Leah, make sure you stay calm when she's in a good mood, maybe not when the regional manager's around because it seems that that escalates her feelings of defensiveness already.
Hmm.
And just sit and talk to her and say, you know what, hey, I'm new to an office setting. I think that maybe if you explain it to me once, if I have to ask again, I apologize, but I am trying to learn so I can do it the correct way.
Hmm.
Do you think that that would be
I
beneficial?
think that would be beneficial.
It's really nice talking to you today, Jason. Is there anything else that I can talk to you about or
No,
anything
that
else you want to
seems
share?
good.
All right. It was great talking to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.